Everything you need to know to start your day.
The Valley's Morning News.
News Talk 710 KURV.
News Talk 710 KURV brought to you by McAllen Compost, Rivers End Nursery Bayview, and Grace Heritage Ranch. A poorly written email can discredit your professional image. Joining us now on 710 KURV to talk about it, Etiquette Expert Colleen Rickenbacher. Good morning, Colleen.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal, but now I'm kind of looking at myself and thinking, wait, all those emails I just sent off when I was groggy at 5 in the morning, did I make a lot of mistakes? So what are the biggest email mistakes we make daily?
Well, when you first start off, make sure it has a nice opening salutation. Make sure that at least you're not forgetting a greeting. Always start off with hello. Hello, to somebody.
Hello, Colleen.
Exactly. And make sure, because you never know where that email is going to go, even though you think it's just not so much formal, but it could go on to my boss, it could go on to my board of directors, it could go on to a committee that you want something approved, you want money for the station. So don't make it so informal that I can't take your email and send it on to somebody else. Dear Colleen has basically gone away. And definitely not, stay away unless it's definitely not a business. Then it could be hi, but definitely not ho, hey, what's going on, what's up. Stay away from all those informal ones.
Okay, but I can do that still in-house, right?
In-house is fine. Unless,
okay.
Again, you're talking business, and again, it could go on to your board, or it could go off, and so just always think where that email is going to end up.
You say it could go off to other places. That's when people hit reply, and then it just builds that long list or that long. Okay, so we got to be wary of what could happen in the future.
Always think that end result of that email, because if you're sending to a business associate in-house or even out-of-house, or somebody, that you think, well, this could, definitely go on, but you think, well, think of the life of that email. What type of business? What's the long series of that business?
Do you think
that email?
Do you think the advent of smartphones, which brings all of the emails, which brings everything to us, and it's a lot smaller of a screen compared to a computer, do you think that led to some the decline in the professionality of emails because we can't see the whole thing?
Heavens, yes. And that's what you just said makes a big difference. Are we talking email now? Are we talking texting? And texting, that's a very, very short version of what your messages would be, because you're very limited to if it's
160 characters,
or what it's going to be, because of just the length of the whole, because you're limited. There's so much space that's on there. And, it's at the time and the place that's going to be a business transaction, because now all of a sudden your words have become a letter. Your words have become very condensed with what they are. And I know emailing basically is going away because now everybody wants to text, but is that the right time or the place for that to be a business communication?
Joining us now on 710 KURV, we have an etiquette expert, Colleen Rickenbacher.
Yeah, Colleen, Tim Sullivan here. So I guess to kind of, in other words, it's just always very important to take the time. Even if you want to send a very quick email, it's important to take the time to give that email the once over, check the spelling, and take a real good look as to who it's going to go to.
Most definitely. And in that case, in any correspondence, you want to make sure that all your words are spelled properly. And in a business communication, you want to make sure they are words and not just initials or a one letter, because you got to remember too, who's reading it? Are they going to understand what your LOLs, what do they stand for? Because now LOLs, instead of, laugh out loud, lots of love, they're all of a sudden going to start meaning lots of other things in there. And you have to understand the recipient of that. How are they taking that? It's a tone. It's a different, initials. It's a lot of different things. It's business,
and that brings up an interesting point. How do you write an email where you're going to make sure that the person on the other end isn't going to take some of the things you're writing the wrong way?
Exactly. So you have to pay attention to all the details of what's going on, because they can be misunderstood. Something that you are abbreviating because it is an email or a text or however you feel like it might be sent could be totally misunderstood. Your message is misunderstood. You could lose a piece of business over that, or people think that you're sloppy, you're not giving it time of the detail, and a nice piece of business, a big piece of business, money, is lost because you didn't take the time to proof something or read it.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. What topics are just completely off limits when you're exchanging emails, office emails?
Something that's too personal, something that should be done face-to-face or over a phone, or something where you should be knocking on somebody's door, picking up the mail to do it, or knocking on somebody's door. Something that should be handled as much too personal that someone else should not be seeing. Because, again, instantly, across a country, across a state, across, other people, that something else should not be seen. Even between the two of you, something that should be handled between you and I, then that's it. I should either pick up the phone and call you or come to your cubicle or next door. I should handle this face-to-face.
Colleen, I remember in college classes, the basic ones, the first couple of ones. It wasn't that long ago, even though it seems like forever. But we'd always talk about formatting of like certain types of letters that we had to type up, certain types of different correspondence that had different meanings or different uses, and they would be formatted differently. Is formatting still a major player when it comes to emails?
No, there was never a format set up in email.
That's good.
That was, many, many, many moons ago when we had letters. There was even a place where you put the date line and the dear so-and-so came in. We don't even use dear anymore, and then we would have the body of the letter and then a closing. The only thing that we do say is that you still always should have an open, where the main thing now is a subject line. Make sure you put something in the subject line.
Is it good to change the subject line on replies, or is it okay to get that R-E colon?
No, always have a subject line, and whenever anything changes in there, make sure you change the subject, or it's very confusing to people. Subject line.
Colleen, it's great talking to you. That's our etiquette expert, Colleen Rickenbacher, joining us on 710 KURV, and I will post that on our Facebook page. Please share this with everybody, because I'm sure you're not the only ones receiving some crazy emails.